The movie begins at one of South Africa's largest and most prestigious racecourses, where wealthy dudes and influential figures from around the world gather to place massive bets on their horses and jockeys. Among them is Runbeer, the man who owns this entire empire, young and handsome multi-millionaire living an ultra-luxurious and lavish lifestyle. Beyond the racecourse, Runbeer also runs a million-dollar real estate business. He has a beautiful assistant who secretly has feelings for him, but Runbeer keeps their relationship strictly professional. On the other hand, there's Runbeer's brother Rajiv, who has no interest in business or work and is completely absorbed in his lavish lifestyle and heavily addicted to beer. He drinks all day, from breakfast to dinner, a habit that Runbeer deeply hates and worries him. However, today's race promises to be thrilling, as Kabir, a flashy millionaire and Runbeer's longtime business rival, also fielded his horse against Runbeer on a heavy bet. The race kicks off, and as expected, Runbeer's horse takes an early lead, but everything changes in an instant. At the last moment, Kabir's horse surges ahead and Runbeer loses. Not just the race, but a huge sum of money. Shocked and furious, Runbeer suspects his jockey of deliberately holding the horse back just before the finish line. Kabir mocks Runbeer by proudly showing off his victory, but Runbeer stays calm. Runbeer knows the race was fixed and never lets someone who crosses him walk away without consequences. From that day on, Runbeer and Rajiv keep a close watch on Kabir. One day, they catch their jockey secretly taking money from Kabir to fix a race. They follow the jockey's car, and Runbeer detonates a bomb he had planted earlier, blowing up the vehicle and killing the jockey. A week later, Runbeer leaves his office to head home, unaware that a truck has been following him for some time. Suddenly, the driver speeds ahead and blocks the road, and Runbeer crashes into the truck, triggering a serious and dangerous accident. The scene then shifts to the hospital, where Runbeer survives the brutal accident with only minor injuries. After advising him to take a few days of rest, the doctor allowed him to be discharged. Rajiv thanks God for saving his brother and emotionally says that he couldn't live if Runbeer had died today. Suspecting Kabir's involvement in the accident, Rajiv suddenly receives an urgent call and steps outside to attend it. A week later, Runbeer has fully recovered and Rajiv throws a party to celebrate with their friends, including Runbeer's close friend Sonia. The moment Rajiv sees her, he is instantly drawn to her. After everyone is introduced to Sonia, Rajiv began playfully flirting with her, trying to impress her. Over time, Sonia is charmed by his humor, playful banter, and flirtatious style. After the party, Rajiv has had too much to drink as usual, and Runbeer tries to take him home. Rajiv opens up to his brother, admitting that he truly likes Sonia and would even quit drinking if he could be with her. Runbeer makes him promise, and Rajiv agrees without hesitation. With the promise made, they head home, and Rajiv begins thinking about making it happen. The next morning, he wakes Rajiv up and tells him to get ready, saying he has a solid plan to help him get closer to Sonia and win her over. A little later, they go to Sonia's hotel and meet her, pretending they are there for a business meeting. After Sonia confirms she is free today, Runbeer suggests they have lunch together, and she agrees. Just then, Runbeer pretends to take a call and says he has to attend an urgent meeting. The plan works, leaving Rajiv and Sonia to spend time together alone. Rajiv and Sonia then have lunch together, and through playful banter and warm conversation, he slowly wins her over. After that, they begin meeting regularly, spending more and more time together. As they grow closer, their bond deepens, and they soon find themselves in a loving relationship. One day, Sonia asks Rajiv to marry her, but he bluntly refuses, calling their relationship nothing more than a casual fling. When she reacts angrily, Rajiv reveals that he knows her past, exposing her as a fortune hunter who targets wealthy men and cheats them out of their money. He adds that she originally went after Runbeer, but Rajiv became her real target. Hearing this, Sonia drops all emotion, shows her true side, and calmly asks Rajiv what he wants from her. To everyone's shock, Rajiv offers Sonia a deal to help him kill Runbeer in a staged accident. In return, Sonia would receive $20 million. He reveals that their father took out a $100 million life insurance policy on both sons. Once Runbeer is dead, Rajiv would collect the payout on Runbeer and inherit all of their father's wealth for himself. To make the plan believable, Rajiv's next step is for them to first have a fake marriage. After hearing the amount, Sonia agrees and tells Rajiv that he is even worse than she is, willing to murder the brother who loves him just for money. Meanwhile, Runbeer is practicing at his racecourse when Kabir unexpectedly arrives to meet him. Kabir again demands to buy his racecourse, even offering an extra $10 million, but Runbeer shuts him down and flatly refuses, as he has done several times before. It is revealed that the racecourse was bought by his father, and Runbeer is determined to never sell it at any cost. After a while, Ranbir's servant arrives to get some papers signed. Ranbir uses Kabir's pen to sign them and casually slips it into his pocket. Kabir immediately objects, but it becomes clear that this was not a mistake, but Ranbir's plan to secretly swap the pens. The next race event is about to take place, and this time Kabir doesn't bet on his own horse. Instead, he places a huge bet on Ranbir's horse and instructs his jockey to lose the race. That way, Ranbir would win the race, but Kabir would walk away with a huge amount of money. Unbeknownst to him, Ranbir is secretly listening his plan through a transmitter hidden inside Kabir's pen. Ranbir then makes his move. He places a massive bet on Kabir's horse and secretly instructs his jockey to lose the race. The race begins, but something Kabir never expects happens. His horse wins, and Kabir suffers a devastating $50 million loss. While others congratulate him, Kabir panics and realizes he is now bankrupt. Ranbir approaches him, reveals the transmitter hidden inside his pen and mocks him, making it clear that he never lets anyone who cheats him walk away. As Ranbir and Sophie leave, Rajiv is waiting for them and joyfully tells Ranbir that he proposed to Sonia for marriage and she finally agreed. As per their plan, Rajiv and Sonia get married the very next day in the presence of Ranbir and their close friends. Ranbir believes Rajiv will quit drinking as promised, but instead, Rajiv only grows worse. One night he comes home late and drunk. Enraged, Ranbir slaps him for breaking his promise and ruining Sonia's life. Rajiv quickly realizes his mistake, apologizes, and begs for one last chance. Ranbir is still upset but gives him another chance. After a while, Rajiv goes to his room, and it turns out he was only pretending to be drunk. This was all part of Rajiv and Sonia's plan to make Ranbir feel guilty for arranging Sonia's marriage to Rajiv, and it worked. The next day, Ranbir is deeply troubled by this and confides in Sophia, admitting he fears he has ruined Sonia's life. Sophia comforts him, assuring him that everything will be fine and expresses her sympathy for Sonia. That night, Rajiv's next step is for Sonia to confront Ranbir, accuse him of ruining her life, and use her emotions to gain his sympathy, slowly pulling him into a closer and physical relationship. Meanwhile, Ranbir is in the backyard of his racecourse when Sonia arrives to confront him. As per the plan, Sonia plays her part perfectly, unaware that Rajiv is secretly watching everything through the camera. Ranbir apologizes, admitting he was wrong to hide Rajiv's drinking problem from her. As Sonia moves closer, Ranbir resists at first, saying he cannot betray his brother, but slowly he falls into Sonia's emotional trap, and by the end of the night, the two cross a line and become physically intimate. The next day, Ranbir is at a club with Sophie, visibly shaken by what happened the previous night. Sophie notices his distress and asks what's wrong, but Ranbir stays silent. Showing her quiet affection for him, she still tries to comfort him. Soon after, Sonia arrives outside the club and confronts Ranbir. She tells him she loves him and insists they tell Rajiv about their relationship. Ranbir reacts angrily, saying that what happened was a mistake and that he would never betray his brother. When Ranbir makes it clear that there are no feelings between them, Sonia angrily threatens to reveal everything to Rajiv. She leaves without listening to his request and gets into Rajiv's car, exactly as planned. The next day, Sonia and Rajiv prepare the final phase of their plan, ensuring Ranbir's death will look like an accident. Rajiv informs Sonia that Ranbir is leaving for California with Sophia and will return in 3 days. Once he returns, Rajiv will call him, pretending he discovered his affair with Sonia and threatening to jump from a rooftop in despair. Hearing this, Ranbir will rush to save him. As he reaches the rooftop, Sonia will push him from behind and kill him instantly. Later, they will tell the police that Rajiv was attempting suicide and that Ranbir fell while trying to save him. Once they receive a clean chit, the insurance money will soon be in their hands. 3 days later, Ranbir returns from California, and Sonia is glowing with happiness, cherishing the unforgettable moments they shared during the trip. Once she leaves, Ranbir receives a call from Rajiv. Playing his part perfectly, Rajiv accuses him of betrayal and threatens to take his own life. Panicked, Ranbir begs him to stop and promises to explain everything. When Ranbir reaches the rooftop, he finds Rajiv sitting on the edge in deep despair. Ranbir pleads with him to step back, but overwhelmed by grief, Rajiv refuses to listen. Just as Ranbir begins to explain what really happened that night, Sonia appears from behind and pushes him. Ranbir plunges straight down from the rooftop, crashing onto the road below and dying instantly in a brutal fall. In the next scene, the police arrive at the site of the incident, and Special Officer RD is brought in to lead the investigation. RD has an unusual habit. He constantly eats fruit, believing it helps keep his mind alert while solving complex cases. He questions Rajiv and Sonia, who pretend to be too grief-stricken to speak. RD offers his condolences and gently asks about the accident. As planned, Rajiv explains that their business suffered heavy losses, which he blames on his drinking habit, and went to the rooftop intending to end his life, but Ranbir fell while trying to save him. After hearing their statement, RD steps away, but he suspects the case isn't as simple as it appears and that something is clearly wrong. The next morning, Rajiv and Sonia are called to the morgue to identify Ranbir's body. Although it seems unnecessary, RD explains that it is required under police procedure. He then shows them Ranbir's badly injured body. Rajiv confirms the identification, and they leave soon after. As soon as they step outside, RD grows suspicious again. He tells his assistant Minnie that anyone would be shaken after seeing their brother's body in such a condition, but Rajiv showed no reaction and no signs of grief. Still suspicious, RD visits Rajiv and Ranbir's office to question their employees and close assistants. After hearing everyone's statements, he learns that the brothers shared a strong bond of trust and love. He then goes to Rajiv's cabin and tells him that he is almost certain it was just an accident, but he remains suspicious, especially after learning that Ranbir's $100 million insurance policy will now go to Rajiv. Angrily, Rajiv confronts him for accusing him and claims he doesn't even remember the policy. RD apologizes, saying that when money and property are involved, a certain level of suspicion is inevitable. Just as RD is about to leave, Sophia breaks down outside after learning about Ranbir's death. Overcome with grief, she bursts into uncontrollable tears. When RD questions her, Rajiv and Sonia are left completely shocked as Sophia reveals that she was not just Ranbir's assistant, but his wife. RD takes her aside for a private interrogation, and she explains that during their trip to California, the business work was completed in a single day and they grew even closer during their time together, and before returning, they got married at a local registrar's office. Still suspicious, RD asks to see the marriage certificate, which she presents to him. Overhearing everything, Rajiv and Sonia realize that she was not lying. The next day, Ranbir's funeral is held. When Rajiv goes to meet Sonia afterward, she explodes in anger, blaming him for Ranbir's death and emotionally warning him never to show his face to her again. Outside, RD stops Rajiv and taunts him, saying he suspects Rajiv killed Ranbir for the insurance money, but his plan backfired, as the money will now go to Sophie. Enraged, Rajiv snaps back, insisting he doesn't care about the money and demanding that RD leave him alone. Back at home, Rajiv and Sonia rage over their failure. Sonia lashes out at Rajiv, blaming him for the plan backfiring and mocking that they didn't get a single penny, while Sophie got everything without lifting a finger. Rajiv assures her that the money is still theirs, as he has another plan. Afterward, they visit a man, who turns out to be the driver behind Ranbir's accident, revealing that it was Rajiv who orchestrated the entire accident. Rajiv assigns him a new task to kill Sophie. He gives the driver money and a photo of the target, and the driver vows that there will be no mistakes this time. That evening, Sonia returns home from the office, unaware that someone has slipped into her house. After taking a bath, she hears a noise and becomes alert. Stepping outside to check, she is suddenly grabbed inside, but to her shock, it's Rajiv, not the driver. He and Sophie had been in a relationship from the very beginning, and this was all part of Rajiv's plan. Cunning and sharp, he knew the police would always be suspicious of him. That's why he used Sonia as a pawn and meticulously planned everything with Sophie so the money would end up in their hands without any trouble. Rajiv admits that he had been jealous of Ranbir since childhood, as they often competed in races and he always lost. Later, their father handed all the business responsibilities to Ranbir and always favored him, leaving Rajiv feeling like nothing more than a useless brother. Sophie congratulates him on finally winning and talks about Sonia, but Rajiv reveals a shocking twist that Sonia herself had given the driver the contract for her own murder because the photo handed to him wasn't of Sophie, but of Sonia. Meanwhile, RD examines Sophie and Ranbir's marriage certificate closely and notices something unusual. The signatures were written with different pens. It's a small detail, but enough to raise questions because two people usually sign documents with the same pen. Determined to uncover the truth, RD and Minnie travel to California and visit the marriage registrar's office. The manager confirms the certificate is authentic and that Sophie and Sonia were indeed married there. Before leaving, RD asks for more information, and the manager hands over footage from the wedding day. As RD looks at the photographs, he is stunned as it is Rajiv standing beside Sophie, not Ranbir. Confused and shaken, he turns to the manager, who calmly explains that according to all official records, the man in the photographs is Ranbir. RD struggles to make sense of the impossible reality before him, and after processing everything, he returns to South Africa and arrives at a beach where Rajiv and Sophie are enjoying a cherishing holiday far from the city. When Rajiv sees him, he grows nervous and insists that he and Sophie were simply distraught over Ranbir's death and had come to the beach just to relax. RD smirks and taunts that, saying Sophie had been heartbroken that day and now openly enjoys herself with her husband's brother. Rajiv tries to argue with him, but RD cuts him off and shows them the photograph. Exposing them completely, RD reveals that in California, Ranbir had neither proposed to Sophie nor married her. Fully exposed, Rajiv shows no guilt or shame. Instead, he bluntly asks RD how much he wants, confidently claiming he knows RD is putting in all this effort just for money. RD smiles, acknowledging Rajiv's sharp mind, and openly demands $5 million. In return, he promises to give him a clean chit, allowing both Sophie and Rajiv to freely enjoy their lives with the insurance money. Rajiv agrees to his demands without hesitation and confirms the deal before leaving. The next day, Rajiv arranges the $5 million and calls RD. To ensure the bribe is delivered without suspicion, RD suggests handing the money to one of his associates instead of giving it to him directly. Rajiv follows the instructions and gives the entire amount to RD's associate. After a while, RD collects the money from him. In return, RD gives them a clean chit and assures Rajiv that neither he nor the police will ever trouble them again. Upon returning home, Rajiv devises a plan to eliminate Sonia. He deliberately leaves the insurance sanction letter in plain sight before heading to take a bath. When Sonia arrives, she notices the letter and grows suspicious about why Rajiv never mentioned it. Driven by doubt, she follows him, and the pursuit leads her to the insurance company, where she is stunned to see Rajiv and Sophie together. Sophie enters the office while Rajiv waits outside. Soon after, Sophie emerges with the insurance claim, and they place the cash in their car. As Rajiv and Sophie drive away, Sonia follows them once again and leading her into a parking lot. The pursuit escalates and eventually leads to the rooftop of the building, where Sonia walks straight into Rajiv's trap and the driver rushes in to kill her. Just as the driver is about to kill Sonia, the biggest twist as the story hits when Ranbir suddenly shows up to save Sonia and we realize he is alive. At the last second, he leaps onto the car and distracts the driver, giving Sonia a chance to escape, but the driver is determined and gives chase once again. Ranbir manages to force his way inside the car, and after a fierce struggle, he stabs the driver and yanks the handbrake, stopping the vehicle just inches from Sonia. Coming out, Ranbir comforts Sonia and assures her that she is safe and that everything is going according to their plan. It is then revealed that they had been working together from the very beginning, and that Ranbir had always stayed one step ahead of Rajiv in this race. Feeling relieved, Rajiv and Sophie believe that everything is settled until they return home and hear the same conversation echoing from their room. When they enter the room, they see recorded footage of themselves playing on the television. Before they can even process what is happening, Ranbir appears before them, leaving them stunned from head to toe. They can hardly believe their eyes to see Ranbir alive. The same man whose funeral they had attended now stands before them. Ranbir reveals that everything, from the beginning until now, had unfolded exactly according to his plan. He explains that while hospitalized, he overheard Rajiv scolding his driver over the phone for failing to kill him in the accident, which exposed Rajiv's true intentions. Moments later, Sonia enters the room, shocking Rajiv and Sophie once again. Ranbir reveals that Sonia had been working with him all along. Everything from introducing her to Rajiv at the party to pushing her off the terrace was staged as part of the plan. Throughout it all, Sonia kept Ranbir informed of Rajiv's every move, allowing him to stay one step ahead. Rajiv applauds Ranbir's intelligence, but overcome with emotion, Ranbir confronts him about Rajiv's lifelong jealousy. He says he loved Rajiv and would have given him anything if he had asked with honesty. Rajiv finally snaps, admitting that this had troubled him all his life. He was always seen as weak and made to feel dependent on Ranbir. He reveals that everything he did was to defeat Ranbir on his own, not through his sympathy. To fulfill his beloved brother's final wish, Ranbir declares one last car race. The winner will inherit all the wealth and property, while the loser will simply disappear. Ranbir accepts without hesitation, and the brothers return to the same track where they once raced as children. Seeing Ranbir's car, Rajiv taunts him, saying anyone could win in this car. Without hesitation, a confident Ranbir switches their cars. Moments later, the race begins and both drivers push their car to extreme speeds, battling fiercely on the track, overtaking, countering, and racing neck and neck in a relentless showdown. Suddenly, Ranbir realizes his car's brakes have failed, a sabotage orchestrated by Rajiv. Rajiv speeds ahead before saying goodbye. Rajiv and Sophie believe they have won until Ranbir calls and drops a shocking revelation that there is a bomb in his car, and it will explode if his speed drops below 100. With no brakes and no way to slow down, the race takes a deadly turn. What follows is a high-octane chase, showcasing Ranbir's daring stunts and Rajiv's razor-sharp driving skills. As traffic suddenly appears ahead, both cars are forced onto another route. Ranbir narrowly escapes, but Rajiv's car slams into an oil tanker and explodes in a massive fireball, killing both Rajiv and Sophie instantly. Meanwhile, Ranbir executes a precise drift, bringing his car to a stop at the edge of a cliff. He approaches the wreckage and reveals that there was never a bomb in his car. Despite the betrayal, Ranbir is left shaken and heartbroken by the death of his brother. In the next scene, Ranbir and Sonia collect another $100 million from Rajiv's death and prepare to live a peaceful, luxurious life together. Suddenly, RD blocks their path. As they step out of the car, he raises a gun at Ranbir, creating a tense standoff, but they turn out to be friends, and RD was also a part of Ranbir's plan. It is revealed that when Sonia informed Ranbir of Rajiv's plan, he and RD devised a counter-plan, staging a dead body to fake his death. When Ranbir fell from the terrace earlier, RD had secretly secured him with a cable, allowing him to descend safely, while a fake body was dropped onto the road. RD had already received $5 million from Rajiv and now collects another $5 million from Ranbir. After a final farewell, Ranbir is declared the true winner of the race, and the story comes to an end. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Additionally, if you love Indian movies, you're in the right place as we bring the best explanations for global audiences. Before you go, drop your favorite Indian movie in the comments for us to explain next, and also check out more of our content.